What up, guys? This is week one of April, and this was not a winning week for me. I got slapped by the market. I lost about 4R. Let's jump onto the chart. So first of all, I want to show you my journal. You can clearly see here that I'm on minus 4R. Okay, I took most of my trades on gold, of which I'm going to break it down right now. Okay, so coming in on Monday, this is what ended up happening. Okay, so on Monday I saw this big impulse move on gold, and I told myself that okay, I was going to look for buys. So what I did is I went to the lower time frame, like M15. So in the M15, what did we have in the M15? What did I see that actually made me want to buy? All right, so clearly here on the M15, I had this zone here, okay, this FVG is fair value gap, and I also usually I spread my Fibonacci from the low to the high, and market was actually at hit my sweet spot. My sweet spot is the 72% fib area. All right, to me that's confirmation that we are going to see some buying momentum. Okay, so after spotting that, I went to the M5 to try to spot an entry. Down in the M5, we had a nothing actually. Okay, there was no entry for me yet. So as you can clearly see that the market tapped in my zone. We had an inverted FVG here. Okay, so this is already confirmation for me to buy. Okay, so I actually took this trade on the tap back to that zone. Okay, so when market actually inverted this fair value gap, I placed my buy order right here. Okay, and stop loss just below there, and I was targeting the high, and that did not end up happening. Okay, you can clearly see that here. Price I got stopped out. Okay, but after getting stopped out, I was actually looking for a re-entry, because to me it was like, okay, I got stopped out, but price came and inverted this fair value gap again, and then we had displacement. You can clearly see these gaps here: fair value gap, fair value gap. So I was like, okay, well, I got stopped out, but it still is an opportunity for me, because I had this powerful move to the upside. So I was like, I'm gonna wait for price to actually tap back into the first FVG, which is this one right here, before entry, and then did exactly that. And by this green candle, I entered again. It was still targeting the high, and stop loss just below the zone, and I got stopped out again. Okay, so that was Monday. Okay, well, my mistake. That was actually Tuesday. Monday, okay, this is Monday right here. Okay, what did I see on Monday? On Monday, it's M15 time frame. Okay, Monday's right here. Okay, so Monday, I literally was looking for a buy initially. Okay, because in the M15, no, actually it was in the M5. On the M5, I ended up spotting a FVG. All right, so this is what I saw. On Monday, I had this zone right here. Okay, so you can clearly see that price went to the upside, displacing to the upside, letting you know that there's a lot of buys here. Okay, so it tapped the zone and it went once more. So this trade I did not take because I was at the gym, but when I came back from the gym, I spotted another zone. All right, what was I expecting? I was expecting the same thing that happened here to happen here, right? So price went above, leaving behind FVGs, tapped into the zone. I bought, I got stopped out. All right, so but after getting stopped out, I saw that okay, there was too much momentum to the downside, so that prompted me to switch my bias. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the M15 to try to see what I saw to actually make me sell for the second time. All right, so okay, perfect. So now I switched into a seller. Okay, because we had this huge move to the downside. I was like, okay, you should move to the downside. If they come back, I'm gonna look for a confirmation for a sell and sell. All right, so at first we had this zone right here on the M15. I think I went to the M1. That M15 zone, I saw this inversion here, okay, of a FVG, and I sold. I was targeting the low, okay, and price just stopped me out. The next candle came in and it stopped me out, and we were still in the zone. Okay, we were still kind of in the zone, on my 72% zone, and I got this as a new entry. Okay, I entered, I got stopped out again, price, and then price went in my direction a little bit, and then it went completely against me. All right, so those were mainly the trades that I took this week, and I got obliterated by the market. What am I wishing for next week? Next week, what am I seeing for next week? All right. On gold, we can now see that sellers are actually now in control. All right. The H4, I don't see anything in particular that I'm looking for. So I'm going to look at the H1. Okay, so H1, you can see that price is really dropping now, and it's leaving behind these FVGs. All right, fair value gaps. It's just like 3 of them. Okay. Ideally, what I would look for if it's for like a really huge retracement. So therefore, I'm not looking at these FVGs. If I get a confirmation for a sell, I'm still gonna sell, but a high probability for me will come after equilibrium, you know, and I mean in discounts. Okay, so anything above this 50 zone for me is ideal. Okay, I would love for price to actually come all the way up here before I can sell, but it can also come here and then gives you an opportunity to sell. But if I sell, I'm only going to sell all the way down to this zone here. I lost this week, but it does not mean that I'm a loser. You know, losses are part of the game. What matters is that at the end of like your sample size, you still come out as a winner. So all the best for next week, and I'll see you again next weekend. Cheers.